Are you chasing financial independence because you want freedom or because you're trying to escape something? Maybe you've read blogs, listened to podcasts, or watched YouTube videos about people who saved aggressively, quit their jobs in their 30s or 40s, and now spend their days traveling, hiking, or optimizing credit card points. The message is enticing: save hard, invest smart, retire early, and live happily ever after. That philosophy has a name. It's called the FIRE movement: financial independence, retire early. But here's the big question I want to explore with you today. Is FIRE actually legitimate for real families with real responsibilities? And even if you can pull it off financially, does retiring early actually deliver the life people think it will? In this video, we're going to break down what the FIRE movement really is, what it gets right, what it gets wrong, and what we see happen when families actually try to execute it in the real world. And I want to be clear up front about where this is going. Financial independence is a fantastic goal. It creates options, flexibility, and resilience. But simply retiring early and removing yourself from day-to-day life often leads to something people don't expect: a loss of community, a loss of purpose, and ironically, a loss of fulfillment. Let's dig in. At its core, the FIRE movement is about math and behavior. The math is simple, at least conceptually. You save an unusually high percentage of your income, often 50% or more. You invest those savings aggressively, usually in low-cost index funds. And once your portfolio reaches a certain size, you can live off a small withdrawal rate, commonly around 4%. If your annual spending is $50,000, the classic FIRE math says you need about $1.25 million invested. Hit that number, quit your job, and you're financially independent. The behavior side is just as important. FIRE emphasizes frugality, intentional spending, and questioning lifestyle inflation. It asks you to be deliberate about what actually adds value to your life versus what society says you should want. Those ideas are powerful, and frankly, a lot of traditional financial planning could use more of that mindset. Where FIRE becomes controversial is the second half of the acronym: retire early. In the FIRE world, retirement isn't just stopping paid work. It's often framed as escaping the traditional 9 to 5 entirely. No boss, no schedule, no obligation to earn income ever again. That framing is where things start to break down for many families. Before we critique FIRE, it's important to acknowledge what it gets absolutely right. First, savings rate matters more than almost anything else. Too many people obsess over investment returns while ignoring how much they're actually saving. FIRE flips that script. It shows that controlling spending and increasing savings gives you leverage over your financial future far more quickly than chasing the perfect investment. Second, FIRE encourages intentional living. Families who pursue FIRE tend to be very clear about their values. They're willing to say no to things that don't matter to them. They resist lifestyle creep. They make trade-offs consciously instead of drifting into higher spending because everyone else is doing it. That mindset alone can dramatically improve a family's financial trajectory. Third, FIRE highlights the concept of optionality. Financial independence isn't really about never working again. It's about not needing to work. That distinction matters. When you don't need your paycheck to survive, you gain negotiating power, flexibility, and peace of mind. Those are real benefits, and they're benefits we encourage our clients to pursue. So if FIRE stopped at financial independence, we'd be cheering loudly from the sidelines. The trouble starts when families assume that early retirement itself is the finish line. Most FIRE success stories come from a very specific demographic. They're often single individuals or dual income couples without children. They tend to live in lower cost of living areas. They frequently experience high incomes early in their careers, especially in technology or engineering fields. That doesn't invalidate their success, but it does limit how transferable their strategies are. For families with kids, aging parents, healthcare considerations, and competing financial goals, the FIRE math becomes much harder. Childcare alone can rival a mortgage payment. College planning adds another layer of complexity. Health insurance before Medicare becomes a major wild card. And unlike a spreadsheet, life rarely cooperates perfectly. It's widely reported that families who pursued extreme savings can easily burn out. Others have delayed experiences they can't get back, assuming they'll make up for it later. And some reached financial independence only to realize their desired lifestyle costs more than they originally projected, sometimes in the form of relationships. But even for families who execute FIRE perfectly, something else often shows up after the spreadsheets are done: a sense of emptiness. This is the part of the FIRE conversation that doesn't get enough attention. Work, for all its flaws, provides structure, identity, and community. It gives your week rhythm. It puts you in regular contact with other people. It challenges you. It gives you a sense of contribution. When people retire early without replacing those elements intentionally, they often struggle. At first, early retirement feels amazing. No alarm clock, no meetings, total freedom. But novelty wears off. Days start to blur together. Social interactions decrease as friends are still working. Travel becomes less exciting when it's no longer a break from something. And without a clear sense of purpose, motivation can fade. We've heard many stories with this common thread. People don't miss their job titles. They miss feeling useful. They miss being part of something bigger than themselves. Humans are wired for connection and contribution. When early retirement becomes isolation disguised as freedom, satisfaction drops quickly. This doesn't mean early retirees are unhappy. It means happiness requires more than escaping work. So, what's the alternative? Instead of FIRE, we encourage families to focus on financial independence with intention. Financial independence means your investments can support your lifestyle, either partially or fully. It gives you the ability to choose work instead of being trapped by it. But purpose comes from how you use that freedom. Some people shift to part-time work they enjoy. Others start businesses, volunteer, mentor, or pursue creative projects. Many redefine success around flexibility rather than full retirement. The happiest, financially independent people we work with aren't the ones who stopped working entirely. They're ones who redesign their lives. They built space for family, health, and community. They aligned their time with their values, and they stayed engaged with the world in meaningful ways. Financial independence becomes a tool, not an escape hatch. Let me quickly highlight a few common mistakes we see when families chase FIRE without a broader plan. First, underestimating future spending. Life changes, health costs rise, interests evolve. A plan that works at 35 may not hold up at 55 without flexibility. Second, over-optimizing finances at the expense of life. Saving aggressively is good. Missing out on meaningful experiences with family and friends in the name of a number can backfire emotionally. Third, assuming purpose will magically appear after retirement. Purpose doesn't happen by accident. It has to be designed. These aren't reasons to avoid financial independence. They're reasons to pursue it thoughtfully. Now let's bring this home. The FIRE movement is legitimate in many ways. It highlights powerful financial principles, high savings, intentional spending, and long-term investing. Financial independence is an outstanding goal for families who want control over their time and choices. But retiring early in the sense of removing yourself entirely from day-to-day engagement often isn't the utopia it's portrayed to be. Without community, contribution, and purpose, freedom can feel surprisingly empty. The real win isn't escaping work. It's building a life where money supports what matters most and where your time is aligned with who you are and how you want to show up in the world. That's the conversation we want families to be having. Not just when can I stop working, but what am I freeing myself to? I'm Josh Duncan, partner at F5 Financial Planning. If you would like to learn more about how we help our clients achieve financial freedom for personal significance, please visit our website at www.f5fp.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.